right, Gary, we thank you. One of the things we have seen out of this Mets team early in the season, they are a resilient team. I mean, they blew that 4-0 lead. It was all tied up, and then Francisco Lindor, the big home run. Mets go on to get the win, and they start this 6-game road trip off on a very good note in L.A. tonight. So we're going to hear from Francisco in a moment. Let's go back out to L.A., get a look at our notes from this game. And the Mets jumped in front, top of the second inning, man. DJ Stewart has been a great story for this team after a slow start. Off Yoshinobu Yamamoto, a solo homer. Mets had the lead. It was 1-0. Later in the inning, Harrison Bader made it a 2-0 game with a 2-out single. Into center field, it scored Francisco Alvarez, who, by the way, left the game with an injured thumb. Bader had 4 hits in the game, 4-2 game in the 6th inning. Chris Taylor would snap an 0-for-31 skid. That's a 2-run, 2-out single. Smith and Hernandez scored, and the game was tied at 4-4. But the Mets went back in front in the 7th inning, and again, man, did Francisco Lindor need that right there. A 2-run homer from the left side of the plate. His first hit with a runner in scoring position this season, and the Mets had the lead 6-4, and they added insurance in the 8th inning. Starling Marte with 2 outs. A bases-loaded single scoring McNeil and Bader. Mets had the lead 8-4 at that point, and again, they go on to get the win by a final of 9-4 as they open up this series out in L.A. on a fine note. Don't forget, they've won 4 consecutive series coming in to this one in L.A. But let's begin here, Todd, with Francisco Lindor. And as I said during the course of the game, during our cut-in in the 8th inning, if anybody needed a hit like that, it was Francisco.
It was, and you saw the smile on his face. You saw the reaction of his teammates, and we'll take a look at it again because this was not only a big home run. This could have come any time, but this was a time when the team needed it as well. It's a 3-2 pitch by Daniel Hudson, who left one out over the plate, and Lindor did what he's been waiting to do and squared it up and got it out of the ballpark. You see that reaction once again, the hanging breaking ball, and he drives it through. The ball wasn't flying tonight, but it flew for him, and he's gonna have a great reaction. Look at the hug by his teammates. So he gets some hugs by Marte, and he gets a stamp from me because this is the seal of approval. There was a lot of great things that happened in this game, but you have to give that one to Francisco. It's something that's been a long time waiting, and he went on and got another base hit from the left side later in the game. You could just kind of feel the big exhale when he was rounding the bases, and his teammates, you could tell, have been pulling for this guy, as he's always pulling for everybody else, even when he's not, having great success himself. Pulling for the other guys. This time, the teammates got to pull for him and celebrate for him. And what a big moment, too, when they had given up the lead. They fight right back and take that lead back.
By the way, he was 5 for 55 from the left side of the plate when he hit that home run. And you've spoken quite a bit about the fact that he's just a slow starter from the left side throughout the course of his career. And you have had no worries about him breaking out.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful swing from both sides of the plate. His left-handed swing is just a little bit longer and a little bit more uppercut, and he's been not quite on time with some of the pitches that he's seen this year, and hit some balls hard that could have been hits, and even when he had hit balls hard, they were going right to the fielders, so he'd had some bad luck, as well as just a lot of lack of opportunity, and some of the opportunities that he did have, he just wasn't cashing in, so that must have felt so good for him. Been very good from the right-hand side, plays a solid defense, always a leader on this team, but it's got to feel great for him right now to get that little bit of the monkey off his back.
I would think so, and by the way, that was just his 3rd home run against right-handed pitching since back on August the 3rd of last season. Moments ago, Francisco with Steve Gelbs out in L.A.
All right, Francisco, I'm going to preface this by saying the question I hate the most is how'd that one feel? But I saw the reaction, the hugs with the teammates, so I'm going to make an exception. How'd that one feel?
Felt amazing. It was one of those situations where I've been just missing the baseball for like half an inch or even smaller, like centimeters. And finally I was able to like square one up. And first thought to my head was like, there's no way I just did that. My reaction, it was as genuine as it could be. And seeing my teammates and hugging them and celebrating with them, it's definitely special for sure.
When you're that close, when you say you're missing just by a millimeter here and there, is it easier or harder to not get down and not get frustrated?
My teammates are amazing. and the coaches are outstanding. They've been picking me up and sticking with me. The ovations, you know, those things have been incredible. So it has made it easier. You know, I talked to Steve today too, and just everybody who's been just understanding the situation. And like I said, I've been centimeters away, inches away from putting the ball and play hard, and I did that today.
Now you mentioned your teammates. You had a couple of teammates that came through tonight and have been coming through a lot recently in Harrison Bader and DJ Stewart. What have you seen out of those two particularly over these last couple of weeks? Consistency
and fearless. You know, they step up to the plate knowing that they're going to do something. They know they're going to do something. Same thing with Marte. It's been special to watch them. That's what good teams do. Not everybody clicks at the same time, and when everybody clicks at the same time, it's even better. But right now, they're being a big and a huge part of our success. And the pitching staff have been amazing today. Narby stepping up after Alvarez came out. It's just been an amazing, great team wins.
11-3 in your last 14. Francisco, congrats on the win. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we thank you both. And I think listening to Francisco Lindor right there, that was real. That was heartfelt. Talking about the fact that he spoke to Steve Cohen, who's out in L.A. before the game. We saw that. And then the reaction from his teammates. He is a leader in that clubhouse, and they have picked him up through this difficult time.
Yeah, and as a leader in the clubhouse and a guy that's had the great success that he's had over just not the last couple of years, but his career, he wants to be a guy that's contributing to the team and feels like he's letting guys down. So what he's talking about is the fact that even when he's been struggling, even when he's centimeters away from success, the guys have remained encouraging. Everybody wants to pick him up, wants to pull for him, wants to let him know he's going to be okay, including his coaches and even ownership he mentioned with Steve. So it does feel good when you have that kind of support, because the thing that happens in baseball, because there's so much failure, when you're going through slumps, oftentimes you feel like you're an island. You feel like everybody notices what you're doing all the time when you're going bad. And it isn't really like that, because the team's continuing to win. They're getting contributions up and down the lineup. They're having a really good run right now at 11-3. And so he's able to really kind of stay in the background of what the team's doing right now. But it doesn't feel like that when you're a guy that's used to success and used to being a leader. You feel like you're still sticking out like a sore thumb. So it's great to get that support from the guys that care about you and then to come through.
You certainly stick out when you're not playing well, right? When you were 0-5 and struggling early in the season, you definitely stick out.
Right.
But even when you're playing well, as you said, you feel like you are not getting it done. So it's great to see him begin to get off the schneid and get it done from the left side. He talked about consistency and fearlessness when it comes to DJ Stewart and Harrison Bader. Bader, by the way, had the 4 hits in the game, and DJ Stewart had a couple of hits and drove in 3 runs. I mean, Stewart's an unlikely story after the tough start that he got off to. What's changed for him?
You know what? I think it's a couple of things. I think, he's gotten his timing. He's making good swing decisions. He's attacking. But I love the adjective of fearless. I think that does look like how he's approaching his at-bats, and I think it was right for him to say that about Harrison Bader. And I love that he threw Marte in there, too, because Marte looks really, really solid right now at the plate. But I think what's changed for DJ is that he came out of spring training not really knowing if he had a role on this team. He came north with the team with this thought that he still may not make the team. And so there must have been a little added pressure early on when he was struggling a little bit. J.D. Martinez was signed, and it was thinking that that was inevitable, that he was going to be the guy to come take that DH role. That has delayed and given DJ a chance to kind of take a breath and have his at-bats. And now we're starting to see what we saw out of him at the end of last year, which is quality at-bats. When he gets the balls in his zone, he can drive the baseball, getting big hits, staying aggressive, and like I think Francisco said, fearless. He looks like he's going to attack every time he walks into the box.
As a team, the Mets had 14 hits on the night, and again, they get this win, opening game of this series out in L.A. against the Dodgers. 9-4 is the final. So,
first of all, what's the level of concern with Alvarez right now?
I'm pretty concerned. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, he's getting an MRI right now, but he was in pain. So, I'm worried about that.
And it was on when he turned first base.
When he turned, going from first to second after the ball got away, he felt something there when he got to second base. When I got there, he was in pain.
He had an issue with that with the backswing the other day too, with the catcher's interference. Was that the thumb also?
No, that was more like top of the hand. No, this is a completely different injury here.
So is the fear that it's broken or some sort of ligament?
I don't know. I mean, right now he's getting checked out. He's getting an MRI.
Has he already had an X-ray?
He's getting an MRI right now as we speak. So we'll know more for sure tomorrow morning.
Did he try and stay in the game? It looked like he was trying to talk you guys out of...
Yeah, I mean, he tried. It's like, he was taking his time, and it's like he's getting better. But then once he got to the dugout, he couldn't squeeze the glove. So that's when I say, okay, we gotta do something here.
What's the plan if he does have to miss time?
I gotta go back here and talk to David and see what we got.
Can you get another catcher here?
Oh yeah,
anytime.
Oh yeah.
In terms of the rest of the night, I mean, Lindor, the emotion was pretty obvious coming around the bases and in the dugout with his teammates. Just what did you sense from him in terms of how big that was, not just for the team, but for him personally?
Yeah, it was pretty big, for him to come through in that situation after we lost the lead in the seventh, obviously. It was huge, to get the energy, the momentum going. I've been saying it, he's a really good player, At some point he's going to get going, and here he is, having a great night, coming through when we needed it, and it was good to see.
How important is it for him, not just to get going, but to get going from that side of the plate?
Now, look, I mean, he's, regardless of this, switch hitting is not easy. Hitting in the big leagues is hard, and let alone switch hit, And there's going to be times where you feel better from one side than the other. And, right now that's the case, but I like the at-bats as of late from the left side. He's controlling the strike zone. He's making good contact. The swing decisions are better, and we saw it today with the results. So, like I said, he's a really good player that we got here.
4 hits from Harrison Bader, and continuing what he did in that last series. What have you been seeing from him?
Yeah, confidence player. Aggressive in the strike zone, not chasing as much. That at bat, the double, he fouled off a few pitches, and then for him to go the other way on a pretty good fastball on the outside corner, that's a good sign. And it's good at bats right now from Bader.
What were you guys as a team able to do so effectively against Yamamoto?
Yeah, I thought they had a really good approach. We were aggressive, fastball first pitches. Look, he's pretty nasty. I thought that by the fourth inning he found a split, second and third situation when he struck out Nemo, and then struck out Marte. Those were pretty nasty splitters, But Stewart, I thought, was ready to go on that first at bat for the homer from the fastball. I thought overall really good approach up and down the lineup. But yeah.
How encouraging is it to continue to see DJ Stewart swing the bat the way that he is?
Yeah, good. He's continuing to give us really good at bats. He's ready. He controls the strike zone. He's doing damage, and that's DJ.
What did you think of Sean tonight?
I didn't think he had the best command. I thought he got behind in counts a lot, 1-0, 2-0, but he kept making pitches. He was battling, for 5 innings, and he was still able to give us 5. Kept making pitches. That struck out to Freeman with 2 on in the 5th. Was important. So even though he didn't have his best fastball command, he still found a way to give us 5 innings.
When you look at that strikeout, how critical a pitch was him coming up and in on Freeman before going away for that strikeout?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he kept making pitches. We're talking about one of the best hitters in the game. And I thought he left a breaking ball up to Ohtani, but then like I said, with Freeman, he kept making pitches and got out of the jam.
Oh yeah.
So that is the manager of the Mets, Carlos Mendoza, quoting him. I'm pretty concerned. I'm not going to lie when he talks about Francisco Alvarez. And again, we saw the video there when he was rounding first on that error, put the left hand down and the thumb appeared to bend backwards there at times.
Yeah, I was concerned as well. I could not only see the grimace, but when they showed it in slow-mo, he had that thumb tucked underneath. And what concerned me there is not necessarily a break, and it doesn't surprise me that you can see it go curl underneath right there and really get tweaked. And that's my medical opinion there, Gary, it got tweaked.
Dr. Zeal.
But what I'm concerned about is ligament, soft tissue damage more so than bone damage. And it's something that, as a catcher, that left thumb gets beat up anyway. There's some scar tissue that builds up in there. Sometimes it's resilient to some of the bends because of the fact that you've had it conditioned over many years of catching and having it bend back. But the way he reacted, and then the fact that they said he couldn't squeeze the hand in the dugout, I mean, it doesn't sound good. We obviously wish for the best, and we won't know until we know, but it did seem a little concerning.
Well, as Carlos said right there, that he's having an MRI right now, so when we get those details tomorrow, certainly going to pass those along. Harrison Bader, somebody that the manager spoke about, was asked about. It was just the second 4-hit game of his career, and he's got now, out of his last 8 games, 5 multi-hit games. And we love that at bat. The manager pointed out that at bat in the 4th inning, 8 pitches and then drove the ball the opposite way. What are you liking most about his at bats?
Well, he had some great at bats against Yamamoto, who was very, very tough on right-handers and very tough in, overall. He was able to get to him early, and he had, some really, really good at-bats, battled, laid off a couple of really tough curveballs. The one thing I liked about that one right there, going the opposite way, but he fouled off a nasty splitter and a nasty curveball before that to keep himself up at the plate and in the at-bat. He finally had to come with the fastball, and he was able to drive it. So he's doing a great job of really controlling the zone, staying through the middle of the field, not trying to overswing with power, and that's giving him an opportunity where, we heard a lot about how he's so much better against left-handers because the ball comes into you and he has trouble with breaking balls. Well, he's obviously worked a lot on being able to stay on the breaking ball because he's weighted back. He's hitting sliders to the middle of the field, and he's timing the fastballs to where he can drive that up the middle of the right field. So far right now, the approach is good and the success is coming with it.
Bader's known as a defensive center fielder. He's hitting 333 so far on the season. So he's been a great shot for the offense out there in center. And again, Mets get the win tonight. He had 4 of their 14 hits.
Sean, how'd you feel overall about your outing?
It was solid. I got the job done, and it wasn't like great by any means, and they definitely worked the counts, and overall it was just solid.
What were you able to do in that spot, striking out Freddie Freeman in the 5th?
We'd been attacking with sliders all night, and then the fastball up was just trying to get it above the zone, and thankfully chased, and I got that out. That's a huge out right there.
What's the difficulty of having to switch catchers after an inning?
It's tough. When you lose Alvy like that, you never see injuries like that. But Narvi stepped in, and it was like nothing really changed, and just got to work and did a fantastic job.
Do both catchers participate in the pregame game plan meeting? Or is that just the starters?
Yeah, not usually, but sometimes that happens. But today it didn't happen like that.
What did you think of the offense tonight?
Fantastic. Bader going 4 for 5. Frankie hitting the bomb. DJ in the bomb. Everyone contributed, and worked the count, especially against Yamamoto. He's unbelievable pitcher, so to do it against him, and the bullpen is huge.
Watching Yamamoto from the other side, what'd you think? What were your impressions?
It was gross. He throws hard and splits, very deceiving, and it was really, really cool to watch him tonight.
Shum and I describing his night as solid, got the job done. How would you describe it?
I think kind of the same way, I would say, because he's got sordid past with the Dodgers. I mean, they've gotten to him a lot over his career. His last time out against him, as we talked about on pregame, was the end of last year, and he had a good outing against him. But that's a lineup that's a miserable lineup to face, and so he has, the tendency to be a little bit more careful, which got him behind in some counts. He had some balls that he did have. The guys playing behind him were fortunate. Had a bullet for a double play ball. A couple of balls hit hard. A couple of balls hit deep that didn't go out of the ballpark. So it wasn't his greatest stuff. It wasn't his greatest command. But as he said, he was able to battle, keep the team in the game against a really, really tough lineup. And right now we keep saying, Gare, that if this team stays in the game through the 5, 6, 7 innings, they're going to find a way to win. That's what they've been doing, and that's what he did. He handed it off to the bullpen, a very, very capable bullpen, as they've been all season long, and handed it off to them with a 2-run lead. And then, that's the capable job that he's talking about. So, look, it wasn't his best outing. He's not going to go away thinking he had his best stuff, but he did do a good job against a tough lineup. And I just keep going back to the fact that this Mets offense right now feels like if they're within striking distance in that 6th innings they're going to find a way to win.
You've spoken about that so many times in the past. On your 2000 team, you felt like every time you were close or fell behind, you were going to come back and win.
Very much. And what's the number? 46 runs to 14 runs.
46 to 14.
In the 7th inning and on right now. So it just goes to that, and that kind of confidence continues to build. The more you do it, the more you believe you can continue to do it, and that's the way this offense is kind of built right now. 2-out runs, late inning rallies, and just never really kind of saying die. Even when they lose games, they're fighting up into the last out.
And those 46 runs from the 7th inning on, those are the most in all of baseball. So Harrison Bader, once again, right in the middle of things tonight. He had that 4-hit game, just the second of his career, and the first that he had since back on August the 25th of 2001, when he was back with the St. Louis Cardinals. He got it going there in the 1st inning, and then that big double in the 4th inning. And that was a great at-bat. 8 pitches. He fouled off a bunch of pitches to stay in the at-bat. And then in the 6th inning, he singles into center field. And then again, another hit in the 8th inning. Let's hear from Harrison Bader right now.
Harrison, first of all, as a team, what were you guys able to do to have that much success against Yamamoto?
He has good stuff. So I think we just kept our thoughts small in the box, focused on our plan of attack that we all talked about before the game. And I think we stayed in the pocket and allowed it to show up, and just took good swings to the baseball and stacked hits on top of one another, and allowing us to push runs across the plate.
Another great night for you offensively. Overall, what have you been happiest with over these last couple of weeks personally?
I've been happiest about just, having fun, focusing on my routine, and just keeping my health where it is. A lot of that just has to come from, the training staff being so good and sticking with me and helping me through, my routine, and going out there and doing all those things, checking all those boxes, and going out there and just being an athlete and just having fun playing baseball. So I like where I'm at.
What's working for you at the plate right now?
I just think it's small, sticking to my approach, swinging at what they're giving me, going up to the plate looking for what I think I'm going to get, not what I want to see, and just keeping my thoughts super small, just trying to string together hits and win every pitch.
We can look numbers right here. Harrison Bader's last 8 games hitting .467. He's got an OPS of 1133. And I love what he says, Todd, just thinking small, right?
Small. The other thing that he said there that's interesting, going into the plate, thinking about what I'm going to get, not what I want to get. And there's a big difference in that, because if you're always looking for what you want and the pitchers are good enough that they're not going to get you what you want, and you have to be able to take what you get and still be able to do something with it.
All right, Chelsea, look forward to that. Here we go. Hero of the game presented by Tunnel to Towers. Francisco Lindor, top of the 7th inning, game tied at 4, but not for long. Lindor, 3-2 pitch. And there it goes over the wall in right field. Gave the Mets the lead 6-4. They go on to win 9-4. That is an excited Francisco Lindor. More from him right now.
He seems more emotional than usual after that home run. What just sort of went into that for you?
I mean, I felt like I've been in almost every at-bat, and I miss him just by half an inch or centimeters. And whenever I like the first at-bat, guy on third base, they on second and third, I just missed that ball. Then the next at-bat, I just missed it again, but it was a little deeper, and there was nobody on. I'm like, man, I wish I would have done that last at bat. So just seeing how my teammates continue to encourage me, continue to stay right there, continue to every time I'll take a pitch, whether it's I'm hitting or somebody else is hitting, you look in the dugout, everybody's like wanting the at bat, wanting the hit for each other. So yeah, whenever you have teammates and people pulling for you, whenever you have results like that, people get I tend to release usually more of my emotions. Usually I just tap my chest a couple of times, thank the Lord, and carry on. But Marta's been there by me, sticking with me, and that's the first person I saw. So yeah, I gave him a hug, and then Pete, Stewart, and everybody else was celebrating the dugout. It was pretty cool.
What are the emotions specifically from doing that from the left side?
Not really.
Yeah.
I could go to the plate, standing in the middle of the plate, and swing straight down. And if I get it done, I'll still have the same emotion.
It'd be hard to homer that way.
Yeah, we'll see. It's hard to hit home runs lefty right now. So, it's just having success at the moment that the team needs it. It definitely feels good.
So earlier this year in Cincinnati, I believe, you said you try to take things from your right-handed swing and incorporate it into your left, and vice versa if that's what's working. Yeah. Have you been able to do that, and if so, what have you sort of taken?
100%. I try to imitate myself from both sides, and that's a blessing and a curse at times, because when I'm locked in one side, I try to bring it to the other side, and then I get a little mixed up. Sometimes you got to think as two different hitters, but I try to be the same from both sides. So I try to help myself out from whether it's from the right side to the left side to the right side, and that's how I've had success in my career. So yeah, I've been doing it. It just hasn't really worked out that way.
What specifically do you try and take?
Swinging down through the baseball, you're staying in my legs. There's a lot of things that I'm doing very well right now on the right side that I haven't accomplished on the left side. But I'm there. I'm there. I'm doing it right now. So now it's just a matter of staying consistent with it.
is a speed limit enforcement of 100 kilometers ahead of about 400 meters. It is a speed limit enforcement of 100 kilometers ahead of about 200 meters.